Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, as always, with John Fitch. Big mixed martial mindset because, number one, the world is totally fucked, right? The world's totally fucked. We got the inauguration now in 2 days. We got a lot of, boogaloo happening on the internet and in the real world, which we'll have to talk about. John Fitch has stepped up his video game, as you can see. There is a very clear picture. I think we're going to have a clear picture connection the whole time.
Looking good.
Looking great. We had fights that were phenomenal. Dubai, they actually had a crowd, John. So now I'm really hoping that maybe the next step is Bellator.
That was really fun. It was cool to hear people cheer and react to things. It was fun again.
Very fun again.
The whole facade is just starting to slip away. Like, how much can they keep this up for? How much longer?
I think they're going to keep it up for years.
Like they're already talking about, Cuomo's already going back on the lockdowns and new reports and shit out. Like,
listen, man,
day after the inauguration, I don't know. What do you think? Are they just going to open everything up, try to go back to normal, and it's going to be another 4 years of Obama years? Where they talk about everything being perfect. They talk about Kamala's shoes and how everything's amazing and girl power while they bomb the shit out of the Middle East. And are we just going to go back to that normal? Is that what the hope that a lot of people are hoping that's the normal we're going to get back to? Because, like, DC looks like it's locked down and it's not going to be unlocked down for a while.
Well, let's talk about some things. All right. Well, you know what? There's so much going on.
I had a 2-hour conversation with Steve Poinkin last night.
Yeah.
So we got into a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, we flew through 2 hours.
Yeah, no, Steve's great, man. And I've met him in person a couple times.
He's just over the hill. So if you do come out this way, we'll all get on a stream or something together.
Yeah. Steve's our age too. He's like 41. I think he's right between me and you. And he was a really smart guy. But all right, so let's. First of all, big tech censorship at an all-time high. And that's how we'll do the spiel right now because just so everybody understands.
Censorship or big tech. You mean government controlled independently owned companies?
Yeah. Those companies, right? I was trying to explain that to my buddy today. I don't get it because Google, they work in AI and quantum computing with NASA, which works with the NSA and intelligence.
Where did all their technology come from?
Yeah,
where they get all this stuff? It was gifted to them. They're beholden to the people that gave it to them. They get money from the government. They get research and development stuff from the government.
In-Q-Tel,
that was part of the Snowden thing is like the government owning these companies and forcing them to put back doors into everything. Like everything has a back door because they put it there because the government had them do it.
Yeah. 100%. So we've been deactivated. Our latest GoFundMe campaign has been deactivated. I wonder how much longer I'm going to have this channel. I did the next best thing. This is the link down below. But Stripe, which is one of the payment methods, either PayPal or Stripe, in the Go Get Funding, they denied my card. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get it through that or whatever. But I've got to find one of these to do things. And of course, John, we are both on Rockfin, a platform that's really booming right now.
So Steve, Slow News Day.
He's on. Yeah, Steve's there. Convo Couch. Askren's on there. Cernovich is on there. Kim Iverson, Jimmy Dore,
Jimmy Dore,
Graham Elwood. He does a bunch of stuff on there.
There's some great people. Great. It's amazing. It's really good content, honestly. Like I go on there and get lost on stuff.
Well, Whitney Webb is on there as well. I don't want to leave anybody out. Sam Tripoli. There is so much good content on there, and I think with the look at it this way. Right now, John, you had Bitcoin when this crypto boom started. It was probably ranging in the 15 to 18 range, right? It was the highs at 15 to 18 were there before this big mega boom where we saw new high after new high after new high after new high, right?
Yep.
So from 15 to 18 to now 36 to 40, you're talking a 3 times fold. Now, when all this began, the Ray token was probably in the high 30s at best of cents, maybe 40 cents.
Yeah.
Maybe
I remember
50.
being at 33.
Yeah, maybe 33 maybe. So now you're talking about something that's gone 10 to 15 times the fold. in that short amount of time. Now, it's paced itself with Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Ethereum at those times was in that $200 to $320 marker range. When it started crossing 4, it exploded to 12 pretty quickly. You know what I mean? On pace. But even then, say you were in at 3, that still means you only got 4 times your value or if you were invested in Ethereum. If people had listened and said, hey, you might want to invest in this network and got a little hipper to the Coinbase wallet, which I know we've been talking about lately, they could have invested in Ray and made right now, if they wanted to sell out today, guys, let me say this again, a 10 to 15 times fold. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing me and Leah, we gotta get back the Boomer and Toots show, but we were gonna do an episode where I show her how to cash out the Ray. So we gotta.
You figure it out?
Yeah, well, I figured out once I looked at it because I didn't really look at it, So I just it's like another app I had. It's very similar, so I just have to link the wallets and they do the exchange and then it puts the money in your. But you have to do it in Ether.
Yes,
you can't exchange to dollars or Bitcoin yet.
Well, yeah, you can either do it to Ether or it depends on what your exchange is. But what I've been doing is there's a currency on there called WBTC. So that's wrapped Bitcoin. So it's 1-to-1 Bitcoin with an ERC20 token, right? So Ethereum is what all these ERC20 tokens, including Ray, are based on, right? Now this one tracks 1-to-1 with Bitcoin, but it allows me to just exchange Ray directly for the same value of Bitcoin without third-party propriety, paying the extra fees, etc. And then if I want to cash it out, I can do that pretty easily the same way you do with Ether. But you still track with Bitcoin. So, I'm starting to get into the crypto market. I don't want to make this a crypto show.
I see. So I could use that the K whatever
the Kyber network. So you could use Kyber
network, and then I go to I use the wrapped Bitcoin instead of Ether. But and then does Coinbase support the wrapped Ether?
Yes. So Coinbase
and you can sell the wrapped Ether for dollars.
Yes. So what you can do is just like, you do the 1-to-1.
It's less of a risk than if you bought Ether and the price of Ether dropped before you cashed it out.
It's 1-to-1, so it doesn't matter unless Ether is completely destroyed. Yeah. I don't know how that correct me if I'm wrong, but Ether would have to be completely destroyed for the ERC20 tokens, especially WBTC, and the volume it's been trading in, because a lot of people like it that way. Because again, there's less fees and they can still trade it on the decentralized market to the equivalent of penny stocks, right? So even I've gotten a couple of the penny tokens, if you will, you know what I mean? The ERC20 tokens that I think are actually, you know how everybody's like, Dogecoin. Oh, I can't wait to Doge my coin.
Yeah.
Well, those are 2-3 cents.
It's still around. It's been around forever. And it seems like it's just consistently going down in price.
Well, all I'm saying is that's some people got it way.
People have it just for fun. They're not.
Well, they had it for a lot, the ICO in the very beginning, and then it realized that there wasn't any intrinsic value. So now it's at a lower level, but now it's starting to go up a little more. So it's giving it more, false value because it's traded on the market. But I'm just saying, if you find a couple of these actual lower stocks that are at 3 cents, right, and eventually they go to $1, just $1. And you don't touch them, I mean, what fold is that? It's a 33 times fold. So all I'm saying is every once in a while, what I do is I plunk down $100 or $150 in Ray, and I get some of these penny tokens, if you will. And you never know, one hits big. Maybe I get to buy a house one day, John. And I'll tell you what, this area is nice. Property doesn't cost that much. I'm already thinking about going to an auction. I like the house I'm in. So my buddy's in town. He decides to stay in a hotel. I wish he hadn't. You want to know why, John?
What's that?
Because I wake up at 5 a.m. and it sounds like it's raining. But guess what, John? It's not raining. As I walk to my bathroom, I start getting poured on in water. And I realize luckily my office was okay. Luckily there's a drain in where it goes into my washer and dryer. But my ceiling tiles had come down. It was legit. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what lights to hit. I literally was almost like I got hit with a shower. Luckily I was just in shorts, because it was bad, 5 a.m. I go upstairs and one of the line to I guess this is what it ended up being, to the ice machine water machine on my fridge busted, and everything corralled right before the living room upstairs and just dumped into my downstairs. I mean, dumped. I didn't even know what to do. I texted my landlord. Eventually, I had to shut off like 3 valves. I had huge humidifiers, dehumidifiers in here, like trying to soak all the things out, like causing all sorts of noise. But had he been here, I would have at least heard it when it first happened, because I remember hearing it. I was actually watching LFA late night because this is mixed martial mindset right here. I was watching LFA, and I thought maybe my sister had dropped something. Sometimes she comes downstairs to do late night laundry or whatever, and I forgot about it. It was the first tile coming down. So for like 4 hours, dude, there was just water pouring into my fucking living room, bro.
Oh man, that's worse. The water is the worst too.
Believe me, when my landlord got down here, he was like totally concerned because of how much water had come in. And we went out, dude. We went out drinking. I took my buddy
get mold and rot and all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, believe me, he thought it was a nightmare. But we were at a normal night.
Dollars in repair.
I never did the rest of this stuff. We should pitch johnfitch.com and all that other good stuff. And the fact we're on the gruelingtruth.com audio, johnfitch.net, not .com. I'm an asshole. John, tell the people what you got going before we get going.
Johnfitch.net. Sign up for the newsletter and you get updates and fun stuff from me all the time. I have another course out on Gumroad. I got a bunch of courses on Gumroad that I do seminars, and then I teach and I film it and I make it available. So like the seminars will be usually like a theme. So we'll work on a series of things. So like I put them together in a course so you can learn like how to do a certain set of things. So I have a few things up there. I have a hand fighting one for like pummeling stuff. We got one that we're smashing turtle guard. And then I have put up another one that's, closing the distance, getting into the clinch, getting into takedowns for MMA. And I've got a couple more stuff I'm working on now to have out and available. Got books available, podcasts. Just go to the website and you'll find a lot of stuff.
So my buddy comes in and we decide to go get a steak dinner at a place that's open, not at a quarter capacity, not John, at half capacity. But at full capacity,
delivered.
wait.
Here.
And it's indoors. We're not outdoors at all. It's actually, we're seated indoors. Didn't even wear a mask to come in and sit down, the whole 9. It was delicious.
When they open up, it's going to be freaking these outdoor structures that are just outdoors they're indoors outdoors. They're just a shittier version of outdoors.
It's total jackassery.
Back in time. We're going to eat in tents now. So it's just ridiculous.
We go out. We hit a couple bars. My buddy's just so elated and so happy that nobody's wearing masks and there's good-looking chicks. Even though he's engaged, he's just happy to see like normal life going on, right? Well, in the great state of California, which I believe you're from, aren't you, John?
I'm from. I just live here.
Well, party like it's a pandemic. Moment LA cops bust in to ruin underground super spreader parties and start dishing out tickets. Hey, you got record violent
guys. The future. I got speakeasies, private parties, private club events, raves.
Dude,
that's what's gonna happen.
Dude, think about this though. You got record overdoses, homelessness, and violent crime throughout your state, just like New York. And you know what the cops are doing? They're busting
parties.
Young, healthy people.
Yep.
Fucking having parties, dude.
Yep. You know why?
You tell me, Mr. Fitch.
Money.
What's that?
If you are in a position where you can probably get together, socialize, and party, you probably have money. So they got to come out and get your ass and arrest you to get some of your money. They're not doing shit to the homeless people because what are you going to do to them? What are you going to take from them?
Dude,
no.
I mean, again, you think, we get back to the beginning of what you were saying. This is going back. It isn't going back. Dude, did you see this? I mean, I just tweeted this out. I'm going to go over here. First of all, this jackassery, I should mention, this headline. Yes, the Russians, FBI probe of whether the 22-year-old healthcare worker or care worker. I'm not sure if he was a healthcare worker or not. Some 22-year-old MAGA girls, the one that supposedly stole Pelosi's laptop. It wasn't SEAL Team 17, guys. It wasn't fucking the deep state being taken down. It was this 22-year-old girl, and they're going, they think she might have wanted to sell it to Russia. That's a joke of a headline. But here's where it gets fucking scary, bro. I mean, did they take down my retweet? Come on. Don't tell me that. I was going to say.
Wanted to sell it to Russia.
She's going to sell it to Russia. This is where it's scary, man. You ready? Fucking Biden plans on 10-day blitz. Listen, not 10 executive orders. 10-day blitz of executive orders.
Hundreds of executive orders.
Who knows what? Who fucking knows? Listen, man.
It's going to be gun registration. It's going to be some kind of hit to free speech. It's going to be like some kind of like bonus to tech censorship, our overlords. It's going to be some kind of mandatory mask, or it's a federal whatever violation. You go to federal prison. It's going to be fucking, you got to download something on your phone so we can track you. And freaking Andrew Yang was tweeting stuff about, he's running for mayor in New York. He's tweeting about, don't you think we need some kind of signal that shows other people that we've been vaccinated so they can be more calm? And it's like he wants us to like carry some kind of like badge.
They're giving him New York City, bro.
Implants or freaking carry something on our phone so that other people will know before we say anything to them from a distance that we've been vaccinated. Let's tattoo numbers in our arms. How about that, Andrew Yang?
Bro, Andrew Yang is their dude. You got to understand. New York is their state. New York City is their boast fest. And I'm telling you, California is the other side. The coasts are going to get, even Poole knows the coasts are going to get ripped up. But I'm telling you, man, think about this. That guy sits up there. They give him all the time in the world compared to Tulsi Gabbard. Why? But where do they give him all the time? Talk about automation and a UBI. Nothing really else. Automation and a UBI. Automation is coming, a UBI. Now, what states are going to be prime for UBI by the end of this? That have most restrictions, period. New York and fucking California, and their cities in particular, New York City, all of it, even Long Island, all those people. Think about it, man. A house that costs fucking $120,000 in Indiana or here in Iowa, it's like $2.2 million in Long Island. It's like 20 to 1. They don't make 20 to 1. They're all in debt to their eyeballs. They're going to be prime for a UBI. They already got them scared shitless. They've got them super obedient, at least the ones that stayed. They've already got them restricted with most of these fucking vaccinations. They put detention camps literally in a bill in assembly now. Remember we went over that? Was that last week? They have all this stuff in place. You bring him in because, listen, de Blasio literally went to the gym last week and is like, fuck you, everybody. I went.
Yeah, I need to be in shape to make the decisions. I can't think clearly and make decisions unless I'm in shape. So I went to the fucking gym, suck my balls.
And obviously the man is a hulking Adonis. Let's be honest. He is.
I mean, no, it's just what it is. The class system is going to be, more and more in your face. I mean, that's the turn it's going to take. I think what a lot of people are so calmly doing nothing right now is because they think it's going to go back to Obama era type shit.
Well, they got no fucking idea.
Yeah, what they did was fucked up, but it affects those people over there. I'm still going to make a little bit of money. They're going to give me some free stuff and, relieve my college debts. That's good enough. But I don't think they really understand what's possible. It's really possible to come next.
I think
when you see, do you look at those barriers and stuff and look like they're easily taken down? They look like they're there permanently.
All right, let's talk about it because I guess I want to do that before we get into the McGregor stuff. But I think that we could actually kind of segue it into this. All right, because just like the MeToo was selective, right? You got Kevin Spacey now. He's turned his villain fucking cartoon level Christmas message now to I'm gonna start it with a villain.
He's taunting people now. It's like, yeah, motherfuckers, I did it. I'm a creepy motherfucker.
And then he's like, I had a rough
Now
year.
people are dead. Holy fuck balls. Dude is cold. I gotta say. I mean, it's gross, not right, but I mean, that level of like just ruthlessness. It's not something you see much today.
But dude,
at least not in the open.
It is though, because like he literally turned himself around into the hero by going, I had a rough year, and if you had a rough year too, and you're suicidal, I talk to people, get help. He's now telling people to get help about that. Was, if you didn't see that one this year, he literally was sitting on a park bench and he starts.
Didn't two of his accusers commit suicide?
No, they died. One got in a car accident of some sort, and I forget how the other one died. Like mysterious heart attack, I think it was. From a jelly, whatever, stingfish. Isn't that a conspiracy theory thing? The CIA can kill you with like a pufferfish sting, like gel or whatever. Man. You know what? Let's like a heart attack. I don't even know you could say the term conspiracy theory anymore on fucking YouTube. I mean, let's be honest. Even when you're joking about it, shit's gotten so wild. But all right, so an idea of corroboration. Let's call it that. Yeah, an idea of corroboration. An idea of cooperation. See, so again, now you have this environment, right, where, like you said, the military's there. It's all photo ops. Now let's think about this. There's no reason. This isn't the Middle East. This isn't a mission. Militich was talking to me about it, and he's like, well, I was talking about Tim Kennedy, and he's like, if you're offended by that, why aren't you offended that they're sleeping in these places overseas? First of all, I am. But in those cases, they're maintaining positions, and they don't have what's called permanent military installations 20 minutes away in every state where National Guards stay and are deployed daily. Okay? So in other words, if they're really worried about some tactical insurrection, they don't have troops sleeping there. They have shifts of ready and not tired troops coming in and out. And then guess what? Most of those military guys, it's mind-boggling to me. They're National Guardsmen anyway. Where the fuck do you think they stay when they're deployed as a unit? They stay on base, folks. They could have rotated them safely in and out. And then the next line after they had their little photo op was they had to vet every single one of those National Guardsmen because they were worried about an inside job to get Joe Biden in some kind of a crazy assassination. Yeah, they're talking about looking at police, military, National Guardsmen's voting histories. Like, are these people, are they GOP supporters? And then like disciplining them or removing them from positions because they supported the wrong team. That's just, if that doesn't, I don't know, how somebody could hear your team talking about that and not be like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't, that doesn't sound, are you sure we're not the baddies? We're sure. But again, maybe that's what they want. There's so much talk of now real insurrection. Listen, what happened at the Capitol was not a riot. A riot. A handful of jackasses broke some stuff. And you had one incident where people were pushing in on the door, and everything else was just like guys strolling around and talking calmly with security guards. Again, we had the footage of the second level. That's the extent of the violence throughout, right? Barely anybody gets in through that whole time. We see what? Maybe a dozen or two after whatever, maybe a couple hundred went in. They walked politely in. Nobody trashed the fucking place. Nobody lit anything on fire. Show me the riot that happens without fire. No adjacent buildings or streets were torn up in any way. No cars were overturned. No windows were smashed out of vehicles. You didn't have people looking for blood. They didn't have the pitchforks. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's call it what it was. Again, some people trespassed. Other people trespassed and broke private property. That's the extent of it. Can we stop LARPing? Some dumbasses broke some shit. You know what riot happened that was legitimate with a guy who was half naked in a fur costume calling him a shaman? None, ever. None ever. None fucking ever in the history of humanity. If someone was wearing that shit back in the day, they were tribal with a bunch of other dudes, and forget about fucking riots, because shit was about to pop off if an opposing force was coming in. We're in cartoon world, man. We're literally in
It's LARPing. It's 100%. It's LARPing, and they got played. Those guys got played. 100% got played.
Oh my God. How long you think they're going to put fucking the vegan shaman in prison for?
Oh man, these guys. You think they'll make a really bad example of them?
See, it's tough for me because it's like, all right, first of all, like as far as like 2 days ago, the new fucking mainstream media LARP, which is just as bad as Wolfman Jack and his fucking shamanic magic, they were saying that somehow he was going to fucking assassinate somebody and had fucking planned out floor plans with other people in a plot to kill certain members. Now, I swear to you.
How did that guy plan anything? I mean, they put him up on the stand and let him talk for a little while. He's not planning nothing. He just showed up and wandered in.
Oh.
Like, it's silly. It's silly. It's silly to watch them stir things up. But like, people buy it. There's plenty of people who are like, they really think it was insurrection and they can't believe. And they're like, what do you think they're going to do to these guys? You think they're going to execute them? Blah, 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 blah. It's wild.
All right. So let's start getting into it where reality's at this point, right? There are those people that still, like, for the last 48 hours of their lives, they want to believe in the Q-LARP. They want to believe that somehow Trump's going to pull the Insurrection Act and we're going to have martial law and everything's going to be okay. And the last minute, everybody's going to be saved. And people were already arrested like 2 weeks ago, John, if you didn't hear. Like, they already had people
covered up. The press won't talk about it.
I mean, the Pope, all of it, darkness, whatever, Fiddlesticks, McGinty, I'm not sure. All right. All that's not going to happen because it's fiction. He's going to get in there, but
like Russian collusion.
I think that forget about like this impeachment trial. Yeah, there's that they might go hard at him and try to get incitement. But I'm thinking they might go after him with criminal charges and say, look, we already fucked you in New York. If you haven't seen that, they dumped all of his fucking city property contracts. They're just like, hey, Donald, boom, ah! Literally fuck you. Like, no due process whatsoever. So I think that right now, here's the thing, and I don't think this is that far off. I don't think this is a false narrative, and it's just my opinion. I want to say that. I think the probability of him pardoning Ulbricht, Assange, Snowden, any of those guys is almost zero, and maybe it is because he's taking that same bad advice he's taken throughout, and this time they're telling him, hey, dude, look, impeachment's going to be one thing, but do you want to spend fucking your golden years in prison, even if it is a country club? Because we're coming for you. But if you don't,
Yeah, I think they got him against the wall. He knows some stuff that if he lets out, that is bad. So they're using this as leverage, as much leverage as possible to get him to just walk away quietly.
I'm thinking that's real. You know what I mean? Those are the type of things that go on. A lot of people can't accept that.
Maybe he saw all of Hunter Biden's laptop stuff. Maybe he knows everything. Maybe he knows everything about Epstein. And he's like, hey, motherfuckers, like, I got my own dead man switch. I'll go, after you. But like, they have a lot of power and a lot of sway and persuasion, and they've got him in a spot where even if he dumped everything, I don't know if it would be enough right now.
Well, let's talk about that because I
wouldn't believe it because they would attack it as like, oh, well, Trump is lying and got the stuff from Russia and he's really a terrorist, and they'll just go harder. They'll double down on him being a racist, terrorist, bad person.
Well, all right. So I'm glad you brought up the and I promise, guys, we're going to talk MMA. This is where we're going to transition it into McGregor. All right.
Transition into molestation.
Well, look at Hunter Biden. Okay, right? I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think Trump's seen any of the good stuff. He only knows what the public knows or what he's been allowed to know that's been declassified to him through whatever Durham report and all these things that are out there. Think about it again, John. They impeached the man in a Ukrainian scandal when they had the Ukrainian laptops of Biden, hard drives, and others and knew all the corruption was real, right? Mm-hmm. And they still impeached him, okay?
Yep.
So the Hunter Biden thing is so important because it shatters the Me Too and it just shows you that this is all selective. And that's why I want people to understand.
Well, the accusations against Biden himself, fingering that chick, fingering that Democrat chick, and then her mom calling Larry King and talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Tara
that
Reid.
had way more people supporting her claims than the whole Kavanaugh thing. But that was crickets.
Well,
crickets. Say anything about it.
You're 100% right. That shows some of the hypocrisy. But my point being is there's no white hats coming to put Hunter Biden in jail or make him accountable for anything. And we have those very disturbing pictures of him with what appears to be his young 14-year-old niece. I'm going to leave it at that. He will never see justice for that. Now, unfortunately, for a microcosm of that, to let people know how things work, I have never retracted what I have said about Conor McGregor. And I do want to remind people that there is a plethora of evidence that he is indeed a violent rapist. Going back now to an assault from literally late December of 2019, which people just refuse to talk about today, almost 2 years later. Okay, almost 2 years later. And this is the thread that I still have up. Now, why haven't I discussed it a lot? In June, it was almost completely thrown out. That's apparently there was not going to be charges pressed. There was one article about it, and then it was repeated several times. We covered it here, remember? I believe we covered it on Mixed Martial Mindset.
Like a month after it happened.
Yeah, it's almost like none of it ever happened. It's all been erased. We're going to read some of the just excerpts from the articles so people can understand this. But like, I want people to understand that when this happened and it finally broke in the United States, these were the headlines, folks. Worst kept secret in Dublin. Social media reacts to McGregor rape allegations being made public. And I also want to remind people that, just 4 months ago, he literally got caught cornering a married woman with his security and whipping out his dick, but he won't be charged with an attempted sexual assault or indecent exposure there either. Now, this isn't the second rape allegation that came out. This is another instance that literally happened 4 months ago where he was at a charity event with European royalty. You can't make this fucking shit up, guys. All right? So McGregor, okay, if you went through his scandals, this is like a whitewash of them. They don't even want to mention this scandal. At the end of the day, there is no doubt that this young lady suffered a horrendous ordeal. The examinations, okay, those are physical examinations. I just want people to know. And all of the evidence, which also will include video evidence, by the way, guys, and witness testimony, that she was raped and very badly assaulted in that penthouse suite. So as we go through, the mom, yes, she's a mother, who accused the star of rape was found battered and bruised, discussing statements made by others. These are those statements I talked about. These statements are hugely detailed and complex and go into minute detail of every aspect of not only the night, John, but the attack itself. So all these people saying there isn't evidence, I mean, again, you can go read all these articles. There's going to be way more than what I tell you. Woman allegedly raped by Irish sports star was choked during ordeal. There were clear marks of choking around the woman's neck shortly after the incident on Monday morning. The woman resisted and bit the man in question. Okay? So they got DNA evidence, you name it, the physical exam, all of it. She was left with...
The case thrown out? They're just dead? Or
they just said they weren't going to... Listen, the article was too... First of all, this is the crazy thing, John. The internet is getting wiped more and more, right?
Yeah.
You remember when we went over that in June, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we did. Now, RT was like the first mainstream source in America to report it. There's only like 5 sources, and they were all copy-paste articles saying that the Irish police weren't going to charge him. I sat here today looking for it, dude, and I'm going to look. McGregor won't be charged. So, like, none of this comes up. And by the way, I'm going to use this as another example. When I was talking to the guy that was picking stuff up, I was talking about Obama being trained by an actor, and I'm going to show you that too. And it's impossible to find unless you know like the exact same thing. And he sounds exactly like the other. So won't be prosecuted over. There's so many other charges and things, but none of the rape stuff. So let's see. What else did I type in there? McGregor won't be charged with sexual assault. So the only one I could find was the one I was talking about where he whips his dick out, right? Otherwise, we got investigation.
Wasn't there even another one? There was one in between the rape and
Yeah, there was the one with the oral sex where supposedly he dragged her into the car in Ireland as well. I mean, this is insane that this is all here. You know, let's go back to the thread because, guys, again, there's so much evidence of this. This is what I'm trying to explain to people. Heroes aren't coming to save you. Conor McGregor isn't even the vice president's son. He's somebody who makes money for, ABC and Disney and fucking ESPN and WME Entertainment and the UFC. And that's all they care. They're praying to God he smokes fucking Dustin Poirier. Oh my God. I'm praying to God the other way. That's the only karmic justice you're going to get. And you probably won't get that either. I hate to tell you. Not after watching that fucking cowboy fix. Anyway, so left with bruising after the alleged attack, while there was also suggestions of bleeding. Oh, and by the way, so you remember about how we talked about the other sexual assault after this? In this article, it says before this one, in December of 2019, was previously accused of attacking another woman in recent months at a separate venue. So it seems like there's a lot of these. It's really weird. Okay. So let's continue. And not just accused of one other assault prior to December. Police source. There are reports of previous incidents happened also involving the sports star and members of his entourage in Ireland. These may also be revisited. So multiple ones. And then this is from a police source right here, if you're ready. If you're ready to hear this, okay? She is in a deep state of distress, and she is absolutely terrified. She was allegedly beaten viciously during the incident, and she's terrified for her life. She is in absolute fear. Part of the problem is the sports star is linked to the people who are dangerous. The Kinahan, the Irish Mafia, if you want to know, if you want to read into it. Forensically, the hotel room has been identified and examined by forensic experts. CCTV has been downloaded and have spoken to staff. The woman has handed over blood-stained clothing to the police that is now being examined. Gee, this sounds like a lot more than rumors, John. I don't know about you. Does this sound like rumors to you?
Well, I mean, it's 2-3 years later, and they're not like nothing's pushed through the
Nothing.
No more reports from the anything. It's just silence.
Well, I'll say this.
How long does Irish law take?
Well, remember the rugby.
There's no like sleuthy on the ground up and coming journalists who are like, I'm going to crack this case, or it's not a thing. There's nobody out there.
I don't know. The media is pretty awesome these days. I can tell you that. Let's just keep going. At this point, everybody's like, oh, dude, she's just trying to make money. She didn't even make a statement to police for weeks because she was in such fear of her life. Okay? Just so people understand, she is still too afraid to make a statement. It is understood she presented in a highly traumatized state with extensive bruising. Although she has been in contact with the police about the alleged rape, she has not made a formal statement. So let's continue on. And by the way, most of these are in chronological order. I could show you, I probably will show you, the WhatsApp messages between journalists and police officers and how she was beaten so badly she had to have a tampon surgically removed from her cervix after being anally raped on top of that. All, rumors, apparently. I don't have any evidence. Conor ended up saying that he did have sex with her to the police, by the way, and said all this was consensual, by the way. Okay? So it's not in question that the sex part happened, guys. That he told them that happened. Okay, after he turned himself in, after weeks later. Let's go to these WhatsApp messages. McGregor will be named in the rape. And they say, oh, poor D, yada, yada, yada. Who really cares about D? They talk about her being in bits and being somebody who knew the family. It's pretty gruesome, guys. You know what I mean? Totally. I saw her 4 days later, and she's in bits. So she must have been in a right state after it happened. I mean, he didn't use a condom, came inside her, left her covered in bruises, and she had throat injuries, which were consistent with someone held in a chokehold like this and applied in the ring. His DNA was all over her. He tried to ride her vaginally and rammed her tampon into her cervix. She had to have it surgically removed. I mean, these, I'm not saying this. These are just the WhatsApp messages that leaked between journalists and police officers. No evidence at all he did this, other than the leak that he got arrested. RTE got blamed, and only 8% of rapes in Ireland actually even get convicted. And sometimes it takes 5+ years to go to trial. I'm just saying. I don't have any evidence, John.
Oh, so that could be part of the thing too. Is it takes 5+ years to go to trial.
But I'm telling you, listen, man.
You're gonna stall the trial as long as possible until they can cash in on them.
You know what I'm going to do? Because we always
prosecute them.
I'm going to do it live. I'm going to go into my...
They don't like people leaving them and going off to make money. So I could see them hamstringing him on the way out.
Maybe at the very end. Oh, you're saying...
If he loses this fight, they don't need him anymore. Let's throw him to the wolves.
I don't know if I can... I'm not even finding it from months ago when I type in McGregor. I haven't looked at this since. Man. Oh, well, so I just want people to know that I haven't forgotten it. I'm disgusted the guy's even able to make money. But again, it just shows you the hypocrisy out there of everything. And if you think that you're getting justice and someone's going to come save you from the evil guys in the government in the swamp.
Everything is pro wrestling. When you understand and accept that simple concept, everything is pro wrestling. Everything's a show. Everybody's trying to get over on somebody. You're either the mark or you're part of the show.
I'm not trying to mark out to anybody, but I'm not trying to be part of the show. I am literally just trying to survive and be like, yes, you're right. Everything is fucking pro wrestling to an extent, but we are totally fucked if we don't fight back. It ain't going back to fucking smooth Obama days that weren't the greatest in the first place, by the way. We're talking some fucking nightmare shit coming. Anyway.
The smooth Obama days was a hallucination. People just want to hallucinate that 8 years were great. They really do. My friends, they think that we lived in a paradise land up until Trump. He's the one that made everything bad. And he's the reason for, I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? You have very, very absent memories. You don't remember any of the shit that's been happening. Pretty much, I think it's been Bush and his cabal.
Dude, but then I'm watching.
It started with Kennedy's assassination.
I think it got worse during that time. I think you're right, but you know what? I'm watching CNN and they're showing past presidents getting sworn in, and they only show old man Bush, Clinton, part of the clique, Obama, and young Bush. So no Reagan, and I'm not even a huge fan of Reagan, but guys, they did shoot him. They shot him. Okay, they shot that motherfucker. He
got off script, man. He got off script.
They shot him.
They knew they couldn't elect Bush at that time.
They tried.
So they went with the Gipper. They had to have an actor come in and win the election while Bush Senior was running the show.
I mean, dude, again, it's wild, and now Trump's about to leave. This is about to happen. I don't know. We should get to MMA. Great card, great card this weekend.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Really good fights.
Yeah, let's. I didn't see the prelims, but let's start it off. What was it? Soriano, he knocked out Todorovic, right? He dusted him pretty quick.
I think so. Yeah, it was that was one of the bigger ones. Yeah, because that guy kept leaning back.
Yep. Dusted him. I think maybe second round. It might have been the first. What was it? First round. Yeah. 448. End of the first round. Dusted him. Joaquin Buckley, he got dusted by Alessio. Alessio looked nice.
Yeah, he kicked him pretty good.
Dude, and you know what? It's one of those ones we talk about all the time, and I talk about even with Miletich, where it looked like a lower kick, kind of at his shoulder.
He kind of ducked. He ducked into it too, though.
That's exactly right. I mean, it was more of a shoulder length, maybe upper body, maybe would have connected here, but he was ducked down. It crossed the top of his head. Ooh, I thought he was out on the way down, but he caught him with that big hammer fist too. Li Jinliang, fun fight. Loved this fight as well, even though it was a quick one.
Good.
Dude, he looked.
Both look good. Lee's a monster, man.
He looked juiced out of his mind. The UFC, listen, Wonder Boy looked juiced the last time I saw him. Aldo looked juiced. Fucking
new set of rules.
I'm just saying, dude. Let's be honest. Even Matt Brown, and you know what? That was a tough fight with Condit. His body looked pretty beefy for his age. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't want to accuse anybody of being on things, but I'm just saying I don't think they're quite as concerned as they may have used to be.
COVID criteria.
Yeah, Holloway looked pretty fucking cut up.
Holloway looked fantastic, and he looked shredded. Yeah, that was the best he's looked. But at the same time, I don't know if Qatar is ready for that level. I don't know if he's ready for the championship guys. Maybe
there are those guys.
That could have been why we had. It could be a big reason why Max's performance was on that level. 440 something significant strikes. Mm-hmm. He's gonna beat me. He's gonna pass me on the most significant strikes list.
Well, but, I don't know, man. I just feel like Qatar might be one of those guys that's gonna level out at top 5. He's gonna give the 5-3 guy a run for his money, but maybe 1 and 2 aren't gonna be for him. But like you said, maybe he's just not there yet. And 2-3 years down the line, when maybe Holloway either goes up,
maybe he's either he needed this to regroup, and he'll come back and be ready for that, or he's gonna be stuck in the top 10 gatekeeper category for a while.
Tough motherfucker though, dude. He took some of the biggest
weight class.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying he took some shots. And I'm not talking about just one timers. He was taking 2 punches to the body, a dust up on the head, and then Holloway doing it again 3 seconds later. Like a couple times, man, where I was like, how is this guy still standing? And you know what?
He got hit with some big elbows. Yeah. Repeatedly.
Yes. Yes, he did. I keep saying Qatar. It's Cater. I'm such an asshole. But, dude, I like Calvin. I mean, that's a tough fight, man. 5 rounds against Max Holloway prime like that. And he stood up. I mean, great fight. We got 2 cards. We talked about them being in Abu Dhabi. I'm pretty sure that although this one's in Abu Dhabi, they're doing it at a weird time, but this one's going to be at prelims at 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Really?
Yeah. So this is not tomorrow. It's the next day.
9 a.m. Eastern time.
8 a.m. Central. No, listen. 8 a.m. Central time. It's going to be 7 a.m. Eastern. So it'll be fucking 4 a.m. for you for prelims. That's not a joke.
Crazy.
Look how many prelims they got going.
Who's watching this then if they're putting it on at that time?
Well, I think that they're trying to cater to the local audience there, in the Middle East.
Audience? They're making more money off the gate there than they are from the video stuff here.
Well, it's going to be on ESPN and ESPN Plus, right? Now, the last card they actually put on ABC, they put it on the Big Boy Network, right? So this one is actually fucking. Look at this, man. I like this card. I'm not gonna lie. You got a Nurmagomedov, you got Umar in there.
Umar, nice.
Yes. Let's see. Mike Davis.
His UFC debut?
He must be his UFC. I've never seen him in the UFC. I think he was fighting Bellator? Or maybe even PFL.
He's fighting in Russia. I don't think he went to LFA at all. I think it must have been a Russian.
Really? KSW, something like that?
I don't even think KSW. I don't know what it was.
Let's do it live.
Fight Nights? Is that one?
I don't know. I like how they don't have the body shots on either of these guys, but at least we get the headshots on it, John.
superimpose his head on Khabib's body
Yeah,
or something.
why not? Let's see what we got for him. He's 12-0. So, where is he fighting? No Wikipedia yet. All right, so we'll have to go to SureDog. GFC 20. He did fight PFL. Get out of here. Yeah. He was fighting. He only fought once in PFL. No, a couple times in PFL. So he was going PFL back and forth with, man, I don't even know what that is. Battle on Volga 10, and then GFC 20, GFC 14. So he's got 2 PFL fights under his belt, and he's 12-0. All right. So he's got to be the favorite in that. Got to be. Let's see.
Good to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is, thing is, this is Wednesday. I'll be live for an hour. You know what I mean? You know what, though? I'll do my show. I'll wait. And then by the time the prelims are over, at least, I'll be able to fast forward through all the bullshit I won't have to sit through. You know? That's as long as you stay off of social media, it doesn't get ruined. That works for me. Because honestly, look at this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights on the prelims. And Akhmedov Tom Breeze is actually a fun fight. I like that a lot. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 14 fights on this card with Kasea Magni. All right, Wally Alves.
Yeah, good. It's good, man.
I like Roxanne's fight, and you know what? This is good. I actually like Silva de Andrade. Okay, that's starting off the main card. Okay, this is a good one, man.
Schnell, I think I've trained with that Matt before.
Which one's that?
Schnell, I think. His name like Danger.
Okay.
Nickname. It looks familiar. I could be wrong though.
No, he's flyweight. He's what, number 9 in flyweight, and he's going Tyson Nam, and Nam's 13.
Damn, it's tough. Yeah.
All right, so that's Wednesday, and then I guess let's make some predictions for this one. First of all, let's say the prelims. Anything notable? Brad Tavares is fighting versus that's actually a good fight. Antonio Carlos Jr. I like that. I like Juliana Pena, Sarah McMahon. It's a good fight. Actually, this is a good fight to try to get people to buy it that aren't going to.
Yeah, Tavares he's been chinny for a while, hasn't he?
He's still 14. I don't think you're wrong, but it's on and off. He had some good performances. Let's bring him up. Brad Tavares. No, you're not wrong. I think he got chin-lined by Thiago Santos, and then somebody else after that too. I think you're right, but it's not who you think. So yeah, he went to decision with Adesanya, okay, and then Shabazian KO'd him. But before that, he was on a 4-fight win streak where he beat Elias Theodoro, he beat Jaco, he beat Talis Leites, but Whitaker KO'd him. Tim Bosch KO'd him. He beat fucking Marquardt. Now we're going way back.
When was the last time he fought?
What's that?
When was the last time Tavares fought?
He never even fought him. So the last time he fought was 2019 November, a little over a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what it is? He hasn't had a win
since. And he hasn't fought in a year? Yeah, okay. That's why.
Yeah. Well, he's also, I can't believe he's still ranked that way, but like his last win's April 2018. I guess with COVID, it's tough because either you're fighting or you're not. You know what I mean? Either you can get to a certain state or you can't. I don't know. I like Brad. I hope that he gets back in there. Let's go back to those fights. So, I don't want to say Nasrat, man. He's a good fighter, but I don't know. I think Arman's got him on that one. So let's get to it. Hooker versus Chandler, great fight. Great fight.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to see. Kind of, it's like a measuring stick. Let's see where Chandler ranks among the UFC guys with Hooker. It's a good test. If Chandler smashes him, then it says a lot for the guys that Chandler's fought in Bellator. And if Hooker crushes Chandler, that speaks a lot too. So it'll be kind of I don't know. It's kind of an important fight.
I think it's more important, honestly, other than the UFC's pocketbook, than Dustin versus Conor. Basically, they're trying to get Conor to be the #1 contender, walking in with a gimme from Cowboy. And, they have him ranked number 15 in 155. I don't know when the last time he actually fought 155 is. Apparently, he's just a violent rapist. Anyway, he's fighting Poirier. And I'm hoping that fucking Dustin Dustin's looked really good. And, Conor's got that win over him, but it was at 145. It was so many years ago. I don't think that Dustin would throw the fight. I don't think he's that guy. He has no quit in him. So Dustin Poirier, this Saturday, make me and whoever's over at my house watching this fucking pay-per-view a happy man. I am going to be doing backflips if you fucking serve cold hard justice up to this guy. And hopefully the only draw he's going to be is in a Jake Paul boxing match. I don't even want to see him make money there. I want to see him in prison.
Make more money there. Honestly.
What?
He would make... If he wanted to make more money, he could leave the UFC and he could just box and he could do sideshow boxing events and he would make more money.
The UFC would sue though, and they'd want the biggest, largest piece of that you could imagine. You know it.
Yeah, but then he's got enough money to fight them because Ali Act. It's boxing. They don't have any right to do
or
that
maybe, John, all that CCTV footage from Ireland just gets whoopsie-daisied onto 4chan.
Yeah.
A little whoopsie-daisy, and then all of a sudden the news starts talking about it.
How does that not leak at all? That's what I wonder, is how 4chan doesn't already have it.
Because 4chan is full of shit. They're full of fucking shit.
Autists.
They're a bunch of fucking depraved assholes, man. I'll tell you what, man. You want to fucking listen to some startling, holy fuck moments. You need to listen to that Clown and the Candyman podcast. I'm behind. Have we talked about this yet?
I don't think so.
We'll end it on a happy note, people. Not really. So the Clown and the Candyman fucking podcast, it's on Investigation Discovery, right? It's that same network that put together that good Epstein mini documentary, like the 3 parts, way better than the Netflix one, that talked about the intelligence ties. So this is just an audio podcast, and it's talking about a guy named Dean Carroll, who was a serial killer and a boy rapist, right? And John Wayne Gacy, who was, again, a serial killer and a boy rapist. Now, it's an 8-part series, and it's basically unraveling the network of millionaire-plus elite pedophile boy murderers. Dude, they had an island. They had a fucking foundation where they'd get the boys and get them on the island. We're talking about the darkest shit you could ever imagine, 70s and 80s style, that almost nobody powerful fucking went to jail, and there was a CIA guy involved named Richard Lang who had, they thought he was CIA. They never proved it, but he was a general in the Army, the Navy, and the Marines, which is completely impossible, and had all this documentation. And I think when they arrested him, they found him like raping a 4 and a 5-year-old boy and filming it. He was also selling this stuff. I'm like 2 behind now, but just type in the Clown and the Candyman the next time you're working, you want to hear something, and you're just like, holy shit, you want to talk about dark, evil shit that never came out. And the reason that things like QAnon are able to flourish, because when you listen to this, we're talking about the Boy Scouts, the whole nine, like the Boy Scout troops, how they were funneling them through that. You understand why people lose their mind, because this shit's real, But you know what's not real? They're going to slave you with the Insurrection Act. And with that, johnfitch.net, johnfitch.net, everything John Fitch, johnfitch.net. You're trying to lose some weight. You made a New Year's resolution that you basically, you shoved it up your ass the last 2.5 weeks. How do you take that fist out of your anus and start losing the weight, John Fitch?
Get lifting, get on that meal plan, get the book. I got a resistance band training course. It's free up on Gumroad, and then I got some technique stuff up there too. Make sure you guys check it out, man. And if you're in an open state, have me come for a seminar. You can book seminars through Leah at johnfish.net. That's the email.
GruelingTruth.com. That's the audio. We're no longer on the GoFundMe. They've censored me. It's a go get funding. The link's down below. I also have an Ether address. I have a Bitcoin address. I think that works, but I know the Ether one works. Crypto's the new thingo right now, guys. I'm not trying to promote it, but it looks like it's inevitable. We'll be talking after the fights. Go Dustin Poirier. I love you guys. I'll see you on the flip later, John.
Check you laters.